Good morning, YouTube friends. Today it is it is Tuesday, October 10th, and don't mind the box back there. It was pretty interesting. I saw on Instagram a lot of teachers had class yesterday, and I don't know if you're a part of a state that doesn't do school on Indigenous people / Columbus Day. We didn't have school yesterday, so we get a 4-day work week, which is fabulous. It was just nice to have a 3-day weekend, for sure. So I'm on my way to school right now. Busy weekend. My son had a game yesterday. Long story short, he is in the championship. The sun is just crazy. So he's in the championship for his team. He was supposed to play, he played Saturday, and they were supposed to play Thursday, the winning team of whatever game that was supposed to be Monday, but apparently they messed up the schedule. I don't know what. I really personally think that there was some cheating going on, which is bad because it's like t-ball. Well, it's not t-ball, but it's like baseball for 5 and 6 year olds. And I just don't, I know that if the cheating is going on, it's for the parents. And we've witnessed another coach or two on other teams that have purposefully cheated, and it wasn't an accident or just a mistake. It was you could blatantly see that there was cheating going on. And so I just think it's so crazy. But anyway, so he played yesterday. So he literally played Thursday, had Friday off, played Saturday, had Sunday off, played Monday. And his team rocked it out, did so well. And they beat the team. They beat the same team twice in the week. And this team was undefeated. And we beat them Thursday to cut their undefeated streak. And then we beat them again Monday yesterday to knock them off the playoffs. So pretty cool. So that was my weekend. And then just planning and stuff for this coming week. Next week I have my teacher observations. So it should be interesting. I have a new principal this year, so it's always a little nerve-wracking because it's just you don't really know what you're gonna get, especially if you've been somewhere and you know the principal and you kind of know what what they're looking for. And as much as people are just just go in there and do your everyday thing, and that's great and everything, but a lot of times your everyday thing just doesn't seem to work well for the principal. Not to mention the fact that I truly feel like a lot of principals that used to be teachers and then how have become principals, they tend to forget how it was in the classroom. And I feel like they come in with this biased opinion. And I've just experienced times where principals have come in and are wanting things in my classroom that they themselves couldn't do. I had one year where a principal dinged me for a student coming in from the bathroom, and he came in, he was very unruly. And I have no control over that. Obviously I reprimanded him or whatever, but so he kind of gave me something about that. But then a couple weeks later, the same student that he was talking to in the hallway wasn't even listening to him when he was reprimanding him for something that he didn't even listen to him. And it was just you can't really ding me when you can't get the student under control. So I don't know. But anyway, so I've just had, good and bad experiences. And so it's knowing we have a new principal and just kind of not really knowing, what, it's going to entail and how crazy it's going to be. So it's just a little nerve-wracking. But that's next week. This week we are working on writing strategy. So I'm going to introduce race today. And we're going to just be working on our writing strategies because our end of the unit is supposed to be like a small moments story. And so I'm just going to be working with the students on that and trying to get them to be able to write a small moment story with a lot more descriptive details and not just like some basic information, but I want them to have like really good writing. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and we're going to practice kind of just knowing like when someone's asking you a question, you know, whether it be fiction, nonfiction, text, you want to be able to answer the question, cite evidence, all that good jazz. So that's kind of what we're going to be working on today. And then, yeah, so this box back here, in case you're curious, is some Squishmallows for a colleague of mine who my niece has like 600 Squishmallows. And so she moved to a new place and she realized that she had a ton. And so she was like, I want to get rid of them. And so I took a bunch from her for my classroom, just as like, you know, like a calming corner, just having kids, you know, that they just have something that they can kind of have in class that's comforting. And so I guess another teacher of mine saw that and she had asked me. And so I told her I had a bunch of small ones that my niece still had. And so I'm going to bring those to her today so she can have them in her classroom. I know, like, from what I've heard, our district or some places kind of frown upon the, you know, having the stuffed animals because, you know, the transfer of lice and germs and all that good jazz. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I spray them with Lysol and, you know, disinfect them and stuff like that. But it's just like, I don't know. They love it. And, you know, it's like the lesser of two evils. I don't know. What do you guys think? Just kind of comment below or whatever. So anyway, I will be at school in about maybe 10 or so minutes, 15 tops. And then hopefully I'll get a chance to check in with you guys today if I'm not too busy or if I remember, because that's the key. And then I'll kind of show you guys what we did today and kind of see how they did. But it should be a good day today, and it's going to be a good week. That's my premise. It's going to be a good week because we only have 4 days. And just because it's going to be a good week, I'm going to speak it into existence. All right, so I'll check in with you guys later. Happy Tuesday. And yeah, I'll check in with you guys later. Welcome to the afternoon. So the morning went by pretty quickly. We ended up doing our race strategy. We did our mentor sentence for today from the book Fireflies with, again, ideas by Jivy. And then we did race strategies. So I had them, here, I'll show you my wonderful cards that I think I put somewhere over here. So I got these from Kristen Garino's Teacher Drive. And so basically what it is it's just you find ice cream and then you look for sprinkles. And so this is just kind of the way of getting the kids to getting the kids to be able to not be left out. You know, if you would like pick a partner and then everyone picks their partner and then someone's left out. So this one kind of like people have to commingle, which is good because then it gives people like different partners to go to. So we did that, and then I just asked them some questions, some basic questions like, you know, what like what's your name, what school you go to. And so I just listened for the answers, and a lot of them were like, you know, the school that we went to, or like Beverly. It's not a name, but you know, so they didn't really give like a complete answer. It was just basically like a one-word answer. And so we kind of went into the strategy about race and like how we want to make sure that, so we only went over, so for those of you that don't know what race is, here, I'll kind of show you I'll kind of show you what it looks like. Hold on. Okay. So this is the PowerPoint I used. So we did that, and then so this was the activity where they moved around, and then I gave them the instructions, and these are the questions I gave them. Like, what is your name? What's your favorite food? What is your favorite color? What season do you like best? So that was like more personal questions. Then I kind of went into regular questions of like, what is the fastest way to travel? What is 2 ways to show kindness? So things like this, so where they have to kind of give a little bit more of an explanation. But I just wanted to see if they were restating the question. And then after we did this one, so then what we did is we made it a question where it's like, if I gave you this answer, what question would you come up with? And then I kind of gave them the strategy, talked about races and what it is, and then I kind of just went over what each of them are, but these were the only two that we worried about today, which was restating the question and answering the question. Then we did something like this, where we did this together as a group. So I gave them this passage, and then I gave them the answers. So the passage had the answer on it, and then I gave them two different colors. They can choose whatever two colors they wanted, and then I had them underline the answer. Well, this person did it the opposite way. I had them highlight the answer or underline the answer with one color, and then the restating question with the other. So here, let me find one that actually, here we go. That child did not do it correctly. So yeah, so restating the question, here, let me see if I find it. So I had, the yellow was restate the question. They did the yellow in restating the question. So why did Sam choose the bird for a pet? Sam chose the bird for a pet. And then the because, the purple was the answer. So this person got to see that visual. Then we did a what's wrong one, where we were able to look at it and see what they were missing. So they said Sam chose the bird for a pet. So they had the answer, they restated the question, but they did not give us the answer after looking at all the different animals. And then I had them underline where they would find the answer to see that this person, even though they answered the question, they didn't answer it correctly because they didn't use the evidence from the text. And then after that, I had them do one on their own, like this. And so they did this on their own, and so they were supposed to restate the question and then give the answer. And so this person restated the question, and they used the color to highlight what they restated, and then the answer in a different color so they know that they answered the question. So that's kind of what we did today. I think maybe about 7 kids out of my 21 did not get it correctly, or they got either one or the other. So a lot of them found the answer, but they didn't restate the question, or they kind of answered, they answered the question adding this, but they kind of added it just weirdly. And so I ended up just pulling them for a small group, and we kind of went over again. And one of my girls didn't even, like, she didn't understand what restate the question was, like didn't know what that meant. And so that, once I cleared that up for her, I think she understood it. So it was nice to be able to see like that specific component. It wasn't that she didn't know what to do, she didn't know the definition of it. So that was important. All right, let me, yep. And then we went to specials, and then we did deer time. And then during the deer time, that's when I pulled that small group to make sure that they understood. And then we did our mentor sentence in the morning. And so we did the book called Flyer Flies. And so this was our mentor sentence. My ears rang with crickets and my eyes stung from staring too long. And so what we normally do, if you're new here, what we do for mentor sentences is I have them, hold on one second. So I'll have them glue the sentence here, and then we do the 4 boxes. Now, today technically would be Tuesday, but we just ended up doing Monday. So we'll probably do this the rest of the week because we had Monday off. And so basically what we would do is we just fill in here and then fill in like, what do we notice about the sentence? Like, does it have, you know, commas, periods, like everything, nouns, verbs, adjectives, whatever. And so we kind of go through that. And this is my notebook, and normally I will do it with my second class because I usually just do it on my board for my first class. So that way, like, my second class doesn't see this, and then we'll do it together, and then I'll actually write the answers. And so we do that, and then we read the story. This is the book. And so this is the book that we read together. This is our mentor sentence, and then like comes from this, and then we'll just work on this all week, and then we'll reference this book all week with the mentor sentence. And we actually, for race, they actually have these questions for oral practice using picture books, which is really cool because now I can actually have them answer the questions from the book, which would, in this case would be fiction. And then they can answer the question in complete sentences. Not to mention, we are working on a small moment story in our unit. And so this kind of falls into that category of a small moment story so that they can kind of reference that. Oh, we also did this as well. during the question answering matching, so that way they were able to kind of see like which answer would go with what based on how the question is worded. So that was pretty cool too. So it was a busy day. So I have about less than 15 minutes before I have to go pick up the kids from lunch, and then we will do it all over again. So hopefully it'll be nice to, you know, have the repetitiveness. I have like a really bad headache, like literally it's like focused right here. So I don't know, I was telling people, I'm like, I feel like maybe it was my first time having a migraine, because I don't think I've ever had a migraine. Like I've had a bad headache, but this is like really bad, and it like hurts, and it feels like something like hit me right here. And so I took 2 aspirin, and so I'm hoping that that helps. But it's already going to be 12:30, so I'm halfway through my day. So yeah, hopefully we will check in with you at the end of the day to kind of see how things are going. I only have one other break after this. I have my prep, and then after that, I'm done for the day. So yeah, I'll check in with you guys a little bit later. Hope you guys are having a fabulous day and you're not having a headache like me. Hey, so we made it to the end of the day. As you can see, I'm in my car already. I didn't film the rest of the day, but it was basically on repeat. As I said, we just did the same thing. My second class didn't do as well in terms of like the independent practice piece. A lot of them were missing restating the question. And so that's going to kind of be my refocus tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out a way that I could do that, maybe in some sort of like sort, like give them like breaking the answer apart and then giving them all the R's, the restate, and then giving them all the answers, and then having them match up underneath the question given. Maybe that might work, so that way they can kind of see how it's broken up. And then maybe throw in a couple of wrong, like what's wrong answers, to kind of see if they're able to understand like, hey, this one doesn't belong at all because there's nothing like that answers that question. So I got to figure that out when I get home. I'm going to see what I can do. Yeah, like I said, there was only probably maybe about 7 of my kids in my first class that didn't kind of understand it. Or like I said, not necessarily they didn't understand, they just didn't restate the question. And so, and then like I said, one in particular, she didn't understand what restate meant. And I don't know, maybe once I meet with the other group, they'll be able to tell me maybe they didn't understand what restate either meant. So I'm going to try to hopefully see if I can get that situated. But I still think I want to do that sort. And I think I may do that tomorrow with just both classes, just to kind of reiterate that R and that A before I move on to that like C, that's citing the evidence. Because I think that once they have RA good, and we can cite that evidence, and then we can kind of go from there. And so, yeah, it was, they were a little bit better in terms of the mentor sentence as well. So they kind of listened a little bit better for the story. So yeah, it's like some days are good, some days are bad in terms of like my classes. My second class sometimes a little bit more rambunctious. And then like my first class is usually a lot better. But today they weren't too crazy. So, yeah, so I'm just heading home now. I'm going to my mom's house to pick up my mom and my daughter. Because my mom stays with us on Tuesdays because I have work, and then my boyfriend has work. He goes into the office on Wednesdays usually. And so we just need her to be there to take my son to school and pick him up from school. So, and then I think tomorrow is an early release day, so she'll be picking him up earlier. So I'm just gonna head home after that, and then I don't know if I told you guys, but like I lost my ID and my 3 credit cards. They were in my pocket on Friday. I remember having them, and then I went to the gas station, and then I came home, and like I said, I don't know what happened to them. I'm hoping they're in my laundry, but I don't know if they are. But I normally wouldn't care, except that it's just annoying that the Department of Motor Vehicles, I don't know if this is where you guys are, they before you could just walk in and then you just wait or whatever, and everybody knew that was just like the thing, and you waited for hours, whatever. Now I guess they're trying to eliminate that, and so they do it by appointments, which is fine, except yesterday when I went on and the day before, like they had no appointments anywhere near me. Like the only place they had something near me was like 93 miles away, and I was like, I'm not doing that. So today, thankfully, I was able to get on and look, and they had something for the 20th, which is like 10 days away, I guess, which isn't too crazy. So I'm like hoping that within these 10 days I can maybe find them and then cancel the appointment, and then having to pay $30 to replace this ID again. And so that's just really frustrating for me, but I'm hoping that I'll go home today and I'll do my laundry and it'll be in there miraculously, even though I dug through this laundry like twice this weekend and went through all the pockets of my pants, even though I knew specifically what pants I was wearing. I don't know if anybody else does that, where it's like you start looking in places that you were nowhere near in hopes that you would find what you're looking for. And that was me all weekend. So pray for me that I find this thing. But anyway, I'll try to check in with you guys when I get home, if my kids aren't too crazy. If they are, then I might just check in with you tomorrow morning. But I'll let you guys know how I do with coming up with another strategy for learning about RA and race. So I will check in with you guys later. If not, I will check in with you guys tomorrow. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Good morning. Today it is Thursday, August 12th. Yeah, sorry I didn't sign off yesterday. It was just a busy day. I had a meeting after school, and then my boyfriend was picking me up because we were going to the pumpkin patch. But unfortunately, it rained yesterday, so we didn't end up getting a chance to go. You can see it's kind of raining now. So, I mean, we drove there, but it was just raining, and so we didn't end up taking our kids. They were a little disappointed, but not too crazy. We ended up just taking them to, like, McDonald's so they can go to, like, the play place and just kind of be there or whatever. So, so that was okay. Yeah, so then got home. Actually, I didn't go to bed till, like, midnight. My daughter is having, so both of my kids, they're Irish twins, and they are kind of like 17 days maybe apart, give or take. And so we normally always do like both birthdays, like we celebrate them together because they're 5 and 4. But this year my sister wanted, so my son is getting like all these like first, you know, his first year of kindergarten, all this stuff, and like he's playing like baseball, and my daughter's playing kind of t-ball, but you know, like I said, they don't really keep track of score, and so he's just getting all like this attention. And so my sister kind of felt bad, and so she was like, hey, you know, why don't we split up the birthday parties? And normally we put them together, not just because they're so close and we like feel bad about like inviting people to 2 parties like back to back. So, and then it's, you know, it's cost effective if we do them together, because, you know, it's like we can pay, you know, $500 to $1,000, I mean, you know, because my kids' birthdays are like, you know, in October and November, and so it's like we can't really do anything on the side because it's not summer, and so we always have to kind of do it in a venue. And I mean, we could do it at home, but yeah, I don't know, it's just like it wouldn't be as fun because they wouldn't have like games and things like that. So we can't like have, I mean, we have our backyard, but like we couldn't do like a bouncy house or something like that. So anyway, so we normally do it in a venue, and so so it's just cheaper to do like 2 people in one. But this year, like I said, my sister really wanted to do like a separate one, so we're doing my daughter's princess party. And so so we were just talking last night about the logistics and stuff, and like who's coming and food and all that stuff. And so that's what we're trying to figure out. So that's why I didn't end up going to bed till late. And so, yeah, so it's just kind of a rough Thursday, and then it doesn't help that the weather is, you know, not the best. Anywho, so today in school, we're planning on I'm planning on doing, so we didn't get a chance to finish the cite the evidence for race, and so we're going to do that today. We started talking about it and kind of looked at some examples of like what it looks like and what it doesn't look like. And today I'm going to have them work with someone to read through a passage, cite the evidence, and kind of restate the question, answer the question, and then cite the evidence about the story. So we're kind of like halfway there. We need, I think we just need explain, and then the last one is to summarize. So we just need those last two. So I'm hoping that maybe we can do that tomorrow. Tomorrow's supposed to be a crazy day. We have our like buddies day once a month where like a lower grade comes into our upper grade and we kind of just do like an activity together. And then we also have like the health education talk for 5th graders. And so it's going to be a kind of a busy day tomorrow. So I don't know if we'll get a chance to get to everything. So we might at least get to see. So at least we have race, and then, you know, we can kind of work on the S next week before my observation on Thursday next week. So I also have to figure that out too. All right, so I'm heading to school. I will check in with you guys a little bit later. I'll let you know like how it's going, and then we'll kind of just go from there. I'm hoping and praying that this weather gives up, because it's like supposed to rain for the next few days, and like my son's game is on Saturday, so I'm hoping that if it does rain, it stops at least by then, so that we can get it in, because then I'd feel really bad of them having to like play later on next week, especially since it's not the nicest weather outside, but we'll see. But I hope you are having a terrific Thursday, and if you're not, make it a terrific Thursday the best way you can. All right, I'll check in with you guys a little bit later. So it is the end of the day. I feel like it sort of kind of flew by at the end there, because we had a fire drill during my second period, but I wasn't a part of that. It was actually the person that comes in and does my prep period. So I thankfully didn't have to take them out. However, my afternoon class, so we're doing this health thing tomorrow for my kids, the talk. That's why I was like thinking of the talk. And so they're doing like a health class, and so they're separating the boys and the girls, and they're gonna have like the talk conversation of like just developments and things like that. in, you know, like what girls go through, what boys go through. And so we had to do like a pre-test online and then watch a video. So that took up a chunk of the afternoon class. The video itself was about 30 minutes. And then the pre-test was probably maybe like about 5 or 10. And then, so by the time it was all said and done, we had like 10 minutes before my prep period. So I just had them work on some IXL, and then I did that, and then we came back, and then we finished up with the races. We did the C today. We started the C, and so we did one together. Here, I'll show you. Hold on a second. So we did this one together where we colored the R, the A, the C a certain color, and then we worked on it together where we looked and we underlined the R portion where the person restated the question. Then we underlined the color for them answering the question, and then we did the C part today where we highlighted or underlined the color of what the answer was using the cite evidence, like so in the text. Then we did the other side of the what's wrong, and so this is where we looked at the answer, and it's like even though they did restate the question, they did give us the answer, they really didn't give us any evidence. It just says in the text Kate solved the problem, but they don't really tell us how she solved the problem. So they were able to see that, and then we did an example where we didn't have the answer. And so we read the text, and then after we read the text, we did restating the question, answering the question, and then doing, some of my kids are knocking. Hold on one second. My kids knocked on the door just to wave and say goodbye, and they'll see me tomorrow. Gotta love kids. Yeah, so they didn't want anything. They just wanted to bang on the door, and then when I answered, they were like, we just wanted to say bye, and we'll see you tomorrow. So super sweet. But nonetheless, anyway, so we did that, and then we kind of looked at how we did that. And so I kind of gave them like an idea of like if I was to tell them that I was a YouTube sensation and that I was like such a big YouTube star, like how would you believe me? What would I have to do to show you? And they were like, well, I would need to see this and this and this. And I said, okay, same thing applies here. You know, you would need to see my likes and my followers. Same thing here. You would need to see what the text says to kind of prove that the ring was important to her, why the ring was important to her. Then I had them do the recess one together with a partner, but we didn't get a chance to finish it because we were already running late. So some of them did finish it, like some of my fast finishers. Some of them that were not very fast finishers still needed some assistance, but I will try to, pull them tomorrow to kind of go over that with them. So I'm just going to finish packing up my stuff, and then I'm going to head out. My son has practice today, so I'm going to go pick up my daughter and then pick him up and then head to practice because his championship game is on Saturday. But I just changed the date, and spooky. Let's see how Friday goes. But I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Good morning. Happy Friday the 13th. Woo, it's a good one. So it's a little eerie outside. It's been raining and clouding all week over here. And so it kind of fits the motif of Friday the 13th. And today at school we have like our black shirt for, you know, it being Friday the 13th. So I'm wearing a black shirt, a black sweater, and I know that I'm a little early, but I do have my trick-or-treat Halloween earrings on, so it kind of just fits a little bit with the motif. But yeah, today it is going to be hopefully fast, hopefully not as crazy because it's Friday the 13th, but just it's just gonna be packed with a lot of like busy stuff. So in the morning we have at like 9:45 we do this thing called buddies, and so our 5th grade class is paired up with, I want to say, a 2nd grade class, but I'm not sure. And so like the little kids come to our room, and we do like last month they did like a hands activity where they trace their hand, and then like they trace their buddy's hand, and then so it was like my kids and then the buddy, and then it was, you know, obviously littler, so they kind of put them together, and then they kind of wrote on there like what they had in common or what they discovered they had in common. And so today I think they're doing, from what I just gathered, they're doing like a buddy bingo, and so they're gonna get a bingo card, and then their buddy's gonna randomly put 1 to 24, and then we're gonna like call the numbers, and then I guess each time they get the number, like whoever gets the number gets to do like some activity, like a silly dance or like a song or something of that nature. And so it looks like that's what we're gonna be doing. So that's gonna probably take up, it starts at 9:45. I have my morning group until 10:20. So it's gonna take up probably the rest of my morning after that. So the interesting thing is I found a couple of things online that we could do up until then, just like the history of Friday the 13th, and then like I did get an escape room that they can kind of do during that time as well, before the buddies. And then this afternoon we are doing I think I mentioned yesterday the health talk, and so you know, they're gonna come in and speak to the kids about just like the different changes, and so all the boys and girls are gonna be separate. So my afternoon, it's crazy, because my morning group has to do it today, dang it. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that, but anyway, yeah, I had to have them do this thing where they went and they like watched these videos, and it just kind of gives them a little like pre-test on like what they know about the changes. And so my afternoon class did it, and they you could see some of the looks on their faces as they're watching these videos and reading, and it's nothing inappropriate, it's just like health, like, you know, what's gonna happen to your body and what's gonna change, and, you know, odors and hair and all that good stuff. And so they just looked like, you know, and so I just try to explain to them, like, look, you guys are not the first kids or the last kids that are going to experience this. We all experienced it. But I think it's really nice because it gives them the opportunity to open up the door for, like, when they get the presenter, that they could ask questions. And, you know, believe it or not, it's not as common, you know, this day and age. Like, parents still don't talk to their kids about the changes either until it happens, or they kind of just like shy away from it. And so one of my students in particular kept asking, I guess I don't want to say in particular, but one of my students, he kept asking questions about, like, not about the health thing, but like what they're going to discuss, and you know, is it going to be like inappropriate or embarrassing, and like are they going to share the answers that we did on the pre-test with our parents? And I was like, well, no, but I'm like, but it is a good discussion point. Like, if you have any questions that you want to ask your parents or have a conversation with your parents about, so that you know, so that kind of, I feel like, helped out a little bit. So I think that may open the door to some kids who are a little embarrassed. Maybe they will have the courage to ask their parents about stuff. Just from people that some people that I've talked to, like older people, like my mother-in-law, for example, said that when she was younger, her mom just never talked about it. I don't think it was something that she was kind of like trying to keep. I just think it was one of the things where it's just like, you know, out of sight, out of mind. I don't want to talk about it if it hasn't happened. But then I think she said that she started getting her monthly, and she had been getting it for like almost 2 years. And then her mom finally was just like, hey, like, you know, have you gotten anything? And she was like, yeah. She's like, I've, you know, had it, but, you know, she's like, well, you never told me. And she's like, well, we never talk about this stuff. So it was just pretty interesting. See, on the opposite end, my mom, she was very vocal about it. And I remember my sister got it first. And she, like, my mom told everybody, like, everybody that came over, she was like, oh, you know, my daughter's a woman now. And I was just like, oh my God. So I was a little hesitant. So I don't think I really shared with her when it happened to me, because I was like, I don't want her telling everybody my business. So, you know, but like I said, it just all depends. So, but yeah, so I just, lesson learned for me, so that now I know, like, the things not to do with my daughter. But yeah, so that's what's going to take place. So that's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm sure it's going to be like an hour. And then after that, I'm sure kids are going to want to ask questions about things. And last year was really good. A lot of kids had some really good questions, like some good, just honest questions about things that they were concerned about. So that should be interesting. And then, yeah, that should pretty much be our day. I'll check in with you guys probably around lunchtime to let you guys know how the buddies went. And then, I'll check in with you guys at the end of the day to let you guys know how the talk went. So I hope you guys are having a good Friday. I hope Friday the 13th isn't keeping you down. And I'm hoping that you're making the best of it. And if you're not, just try to make the best of it. You know, I always try to think of, like, what could be worse. So, but that's just me. But yeah, so I will check in with you guys later. Have a great Friday the 13th. All right, are we ready for our next number? 12.
A lot.
It is a lot of work.
A lot of work for whoever. I mean, it's probably like Tran or I don't know.
For sure. I was looking at it, there's like 20.
Of course, they have to have 20. Yeah. Well, every number has to have a double because of activity. That is so true. I guess we can 24 days to do. Or 23. Oh, yeah, don't you I know what it was. What is this coming on? Got it.
That would be a lot of work. I mean, I think something with BLT. Maybe BLT. All right. Are we ready? All right. So, all right, let's go for our next one. All right. Tell each other your favorite thing you have learned in school so far. One of my kids goes, all right, let's see. Flat tire. Flat tire. Thank you. All right, next one. Number 1. What about number 1?
Have you watched Puppy Dog?
All right, next activity in 3, 2, 1. Anyone have 3 in a row?
No.
You guys do? 4 in a row? Okay, let's see what it says. Hum a song that your partner can guess.
For example, Baby Shark, Happy Birthday, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
I was like, that's going to be hard. All right. Okay, here's our next one. Write down or draw a picture of each of your favorite winter activities. Winter activities. What do you like to do?
Drinking hot chocolate.
That was awesome.
Alright, I'm gonna go by
All right.
I don't do anything in winter.
You don't do anything?
No. I stay home.
Then we gotta go crazy because Ted needs another bingo box.
All right. So, next number, are we ready?
Yeah.
21. 21. Mark up 21.
He won! I won! He won!
You just see which one?
10.
Nice. You guys are almost done.
When we got
Here, and we are being nice and quiet. You don't need to make comments. You don't need to talk with the people around you. And already, since we've started, I've seen that a couple of times here. So please make sure that when we're talking through this information, you're continuing to show me that respect as we go through this class today. Now, also, as we go through, we're going to be covering a lot of new information. You might have questions on this information. So if you want to ask a question, that is fantastic.
Of the day, Friday, which means we are at the weekend and I will not have to be back at work until Monday. So today, as you saw, we finished up, well, we did our buddies and then we did our candor talk. I didn't really show that, but kind of heard a little bit about it. But yeah, so the girls, they were okay. Some of them were a little horrified. I think one of my girls needed like some sort of like fidget thing because she was so anxious about it. Poor, bless her heart. But overall they were pretty, I mean, they had some really good questions. The only thing was, I think it was just, there was just so much going on in terms of like all the information that like the kids kept trying to discuss things, and so I think the lady was getting a little like upset because she's like, you know, there's these side conversations, which I get it because I'm the same way. Like,
red light camera reported ahead.
You know, I'm like, if I'm teaching and you're talking, how are you hearing me? So it just frustrates me, especially like if I'm in the middle of a conversation. It's like, you can't be talking while I'm talking. So I got it completely. But anyway, so overall, I mean, it seemed like it was okay. The only thing that stunk, it was that like I didn't really get my prep period today. I mean, not anybody's fault because it just kind of ran over. By the time it was all said and done, the person that usually comes to relieve me, it was like maybe not even 20 minutes, and I was just like, it is what it is. Like, I just wanted the day to be over. And then yeah, and then the last like half of it, it was really hard to get the kids, so I kind of let them just have a little free time for a moment, and then at like 3:15 we kind of finished up our Friday the 13th passage with our question, and then or questions, and then after that just kind of led us into dismissal. So some of them didn't finish, so I just told them take it home and then bring it on Monday. So it was just really like quick, and it was just like a day of just going. So I mean, I guess it wasn't a bad thing because the day's over, but you know, now I'm ready for the weekend. I didn't stay. Normally I would stay to kind of prepare myself for next week, but I didn't do any packets for the kids next week because I think some of them still hadn't finished this week's packets because it's just been so crazy. And then we were going to take our test on Monday, so I was going to let them kind of look at them on Monday, finish anything that they needed to finish on Monday, and then if maybe do some like games that kind of help them memorize it or whatever, and then maybe just do our test on Monday. And then kind of start looking at book clubs because we still haven't done that, and then start doing our personal narratives now that we've gone over race. But even so, I mean, race is usually 9 out of 10 times it's usually for like answering questions as opposed to like, you know, writing their own personal narrative. But I'm gonna have them start that because, again, like I said, I'm getting observed this week or this coming week on Thursday, and so I want to make sure that we're ready to go with everything that we need. So I'm just here to pick up my daughter, and looks like my mom got some spooky stuff going on. So I'm here to pick up my daughter, and then I'm gonna head home to grab my son, and then we're gonna do some spooky activities at home. So I think we're gonna make some spooky food. So we're gonna make like these like hot dogs wrapped around that look like mummies, and then we're gonna do some like dirt graveyard pudding, which is just basically like chocolate pudding. They're gonna ground up some Oreo cookies, and then they're gonna sprinkle it on there, and then they're gonna make these little graveyard things with Milano cookies. I'm gonna get some little pipers so they can like draw like a spider or something or whatever they want to draw on the cookie, or make designs, I don't know. And then I think we're gonna might do like some pizza bagel like with cheese and faces, like some spooky faces, I don't know. And then maybe me and my boyfriend will probably do some like adult drinks, like spooky drinks. I did one like last year or the year before last, and it was pretty cool. So it was actually a lot of fun, and it was like really nice and pretty. So I don't know, I'll try that again. But yeah, so I'm gonna actually end my vlog here for the week, and so I hope that you guys liked it all and taking you with me throughout my week. Let me know what you guys want to see more of. If you want to see more of like the home life at home with my kids, or if you want to rather see like, you know, more of this or more of like, you know, teaching stuff, that would be great. But you know, hopefully you like this video and subscribe, and yeah, just let me know. You can comment below, and yeah, so hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Hopefully next week the weather is a little bit better, but I doubt it. Also, side note, they did cancel my son's baseball game on Saturday. Bummer. So now they rescheduled it for the following Saturday. So just sucks we have to wait a whole another week to play the championship game. But we do have his like end of the year party on Sunday, which is weird because it's like we have the end of the year party, but it's not really the end of the year because they still have one more game to play. It would have been nice to play Saturday because we would have had our end of the year party Sunday, and if we would have won, then that would have just been more of a reason to celebrate. So, but I digress. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Take care.
That one money is for free, one money is for free.
You see any other two-eye mummies?
No. I see two freaking deeper two-eye mummies.
Mm-hmm.